What's up, guys? On the Flies back again. Night two of the live videos with great artists from Brickshore Media. We had Molly
Mhm.
Lovett last night.
I love
Going,
her.
yes. It was going back, we had Noel. We've had, uh, we've had four. This is the fourth, and
I love it. They're all
great.
great.
So grateful to Nicole about this, but and this won't be the last time I work with some of these guys. But with us tonight is Andrea Vasquez. I hope I said that name right.
You did. You did.
I was
Thank
coached today. I'll go ahead and I'll let you know I was coached today by
you.
Nicole. So she wanted to make sure that Andrea Vasquez, and we're going to talk tonight about her music and her newest single, which is Overthink, which is freaking awesome. If you
Thank
guys
you so
haven't checked it
much.
out, go on Spotify. I've got Spotify pulled up right now, and we're going to talk about some of the other songs. There's one song up there that is, to me, is just as good as Overthink, and you guys need to check this girl out. Um, First of all, I didn't do it enough, and welcome to the show. We
Thank
appreciate you
you so
being here.
much.
You're in Tennessee, I'm sure.
I am in Asheville. I am in the middle of a move. Life's kind
Wow.
of crazy right now.
Yeah, I can imagine it. Somebody was here uh, day before yesterday. Were talking about they were getting ready to move, and they didn't realize you don't realize how much stuff you have till you move, and it's a
It's
lot of stuff.
awful.
It's a lot of. I know that is that's being hectic for you right now,
Yeah.
among everything else that you got going on. So you grew up on the West Coast. I wouldn't
Mhm.
in California. What as a kid, I don't know how early. I'm sure from what I was doing research at an early age, you were picking up music. What were you listening to as as a kid? What was some of the first music you remember listening to?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the Overthink visualizer, you actually little see like little 5-year-old me playing a
Yeah.
violin. So I was really doing music that little. I grew up in a very musical family, but my family listened, I mean, I always grew up listening to everything from Latin music, country to rock to pop, like early 2000s. I'm a big early 2000s girl.
Right.
So kind of just a little bit of everything. And I think that's always a healthy mix. Like you can't
Oh
do too
yeah.
much of one thing, you know? You
Yeah.
need everything.
And what I hate is a stereotype. I was born in '73, so I was in the '80s with the hair metal, the mullets, and all that stuff. But it was such a stereotype that back then, and I fell into that stereotype at the time that, well, if you listen to this kind of music, you don't you can't like if I listen to the rock metal from the 80s, you can't listen to country music, you can't listen to pop
Mm-hmm.
music. And I didn't listen to country in the '80s, but when Garth Brooks came along, that changed everything. And I've been a country fan since, and I've even gone back and listened to some of the older stuff. But okay, here's a question for you. You were probably around that age then, because you're a lot younger than me. First CD you remember buying?
It would be a Dixie Chick CD. The
Oh
Chicks.
wow, yeah,
Yeah. Or
yeah,
Shania Twain. I remember her early, it was the red one,
yeah,
that album.
yeah. She had several different versions of that too, like red
She had
this,
so
red
many.
that. Yeah, but my daughter, she's 19. She is a huge, I guess you call them the chicks now fan. She just went to see them, and cause my wife's a big fan, and she got her on that. But yeah, she will love you then if you're.
I love them. I'm actually seeing them in July, so that's
Oh
awesome.
really? She's
Mm-hmm.
trying to finagle another concert out of
She's
it
like, I
too.
want to go again.
Yeah, she wants to go again, but she had the best time seeing them. She was just thrilled. We got comments coming in, and I want to throw a special shout out to Kelsey Parker. She was here last night with Molly, and she said, "You're talking to Andrea Vasquez." She remembers I'm a fan of Molly Lovett. I love how she knows me.
Yeah,
And she
hi.
told me she told me this morning she was going to tune in. So
She
we
did.
appreciate you, Kelsey. We appreciate you being a big fan and coming in and talking with us. But who are your influences? You talked about Shania Twain and the Chicks, but who are some of your other influences that you had?
Them too, definitely. I grew up in that time when I got to watch Miranda Lambert become a superstar.
Oh
Same with
yeah,
Carrie Underwood and all these powerful females, and I even love everybody today. Like, I'm a big Maren Morris fan, loving all the stuff that Kelsey Ballerini's putting up. I look up to strong women, definitely. But then I also listen to other genres. Like, I'm a big Britney, Madonna, Ariana
Oh yeah.
Grande. I got my pop girls too. So I kind of just divas.
Yes, and I will tell you this: my daughter, when I sent her the link to Overthink, and I said, "Tell me who you think she sounds like." And she said, first thing she said, "Wow, Kelsey Ballerina." There's a lot of that. I hear a lot of that in there. Now
Oh,
I heard, and maybe it's just me. The more I listen to it, it had a little Kelly Pickler sound in it. You,
I could see that back
yeah,
in the
it
day.
had a
That's a
little that
throwback.
because your voice is very unique. The first time I heard it, I was like, because there's a lot of artists that sound the same, but there's also some. My mom is a huge Elvis fan. She always said Elvis had one of the most unique voices out of anybody. Nobody
Hmm.
could touch his voice. Nobody sounded like him. And your voice is like that. You got a unique voice when you hear it. So that's something different, and I like that. I
Thank
like that.
you.
So when this is a two-part question here. When and what made you decide to do music? I mean, what made you want to pick up like you at 5 years old the violin? And of course, you had to be playing it before then to be able to play it that well at 5 years old. What made you want to do music?
You know, it was never, I always, everybody when they're young, it sounds so cliche, always kind of has an interest in doing something. And my family, my cousins, everybody in Los Angeles, were all involved in the music industry to some extent, whether it's lighting, directing, producing, in a band, doesn't matter. Everybody was always doing it. So it never was like a weird career path for any of us to go down. So I knew probably in middle school, high school that I wanted to pursue music. So I ended up just going to more of an arts college and learning at
Okay,
least the business side of things and
all right.
did some internships. So that's kind of what I always wanted to do.
So, do you remember the first time you performed on stage?
Um, it would be like my early piano violin recital days. So I kind of
As
got used to that at a young
okay,
age. And
as a singer.
the
I,
singer,
yeah.
I was probably like 17 or 18. It
And
was nerve wracking.
I can remember it, and nothing compared to you. We had like, I think I was like five, and at church we had like a youth choir, and they put me, I was seven, and they put me doing a solo, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't imagine what you guys go through because I was like totally frantic. So
Yeah,
you said at 17, 17 in your teen years, you knew that you wanted to be,
professionally, yeah, for
yeah, you
sure.
wanted to make that move, and so
Hmm.
you went to a school for that. So how hard was it making the jump? I mean, once you get out of that school, making the jump to Nashville, leaving the West Coast, how hard was it for you to make that jump?
Um, surprisingly, it wasn't that bad because a lot of my peers and everybody that I kind of was working with in LA was kind of making the move to Nashville.
Hmm.
So I kind of came here and already knew a good bunch of people from college, and a lot of my friends were moving over here. So it was kind of like, okay, well, we're all going.
Right.
So it made that a lot easier. I was definitely very lucky with that. And some of those people have stayed some of my very best friends. So it's been great.
So it always helps to know somebody. So
Mm-hmm.
songwriting, and we talked a little bit about this before we came on. I have, and I've said it in every interview I did with you guys up here. I have the utmost respect for anybody that can. I mean, you put out one song, much less the other songs you guys put out. How hard was it writing that first song, and what kind of process do you go through when you decide to write a song? Is it just like you get an idea and then you go from there?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is a process. And as I've gotten older, you have to just get comfortable with it. I went into a write on Monday, Tuesday, I don't remember what day, Monday. And, you get so comfortable with your writers. You're like, I want to do this. I want this sound cool. And we're able to just kind of knock it out. So I feel like you just get into the groove of it. And I think it's definitely helped to kind of build trust with those certain writers that I do write with. So they just kind of, they get it. I have some friends where I have an idea and I'm like, I have a great idea, not for me, but for you. But I feel like that's kind of what it
Yeah.
takes. You're able to kind of be like, oh, this may not be for me, but it'll be for somebody else. So you kind of
How
learn
many
to hear
how
that.
many songs do you think you've wrote since you started writing?
I couldn't even tell you. And then there's the notebooks of the songs that are unfinished that you're like, oh, this is terrible, that maybe
And
I'll
you
go
go
back to
back
one
to
day.
it.
Yeah, and I have got finished a couple of those randomly throughout the years, but yeah, it's kind of funny, but many.
First time recording, what was that like for you?
First time recording, my cousins had a recording studio that now is so much bigger than it was to start. So I think I got lucky that it first was with like my family members, so it
Right.
wasn't that weird, but it is intimidating. It's just you hear yourself on this mic and you don't really know what you're doing in there, but I'm glad I had learned a lot throughout the years.
Talking a little bit about before we get into overthink, talking a little bit about, and I went through on Spotify and I listened to all the songs they have for you on Spotify, and some of the ones uh, made me cry. I like that one.
I love it.
Sugar Coated was a good one. Uh, Now I'm Gone, and let's talk about Made Me Cry, because Made Me Cry, you actually get that on CMT. How
Mhm.
how big of a thrill was that for you to have your music video on CMT?
Well, awesome, but the even funnier part about the thing that's funny about it is that song, you when you're releasing music, you think you have so much time to plan, and the reality is, time goes by like that. So we were kind of in a crunch and we were trying to figure I know I wanted this. I was like, we need champagne, disco balls, whatever. And my photographer, Jessica, and I that kind of do a lot of this together, I think there was a really bad blizzard. And I said, I don't care. We have to get this done. So we ordered everything off Amazon, shipped it to my house, and we just moved all the furniture away from my dining room. And it was just on one tiny wall. And if she went too much, you could see the other wall. So everything was just in my dining room.
Oh
I mean,
wow.
completely DIY. We put up the little streamers. My roommate was home and she's like, "Oh my God, what'd you do to this?" Like, so I was like, "It'll be back to normal in a few hours." And so it was just kind of funny that we had no big plan with this, and then to get it premiered on CMT was pretty cool.
I can't imagine getting you get it on CMT too. But
Yeah.
talking about the songs you got, but I will say this, and I like Overthink. Really do. But one I like just as much as used to.
Thank you.
I
That
mean
one is a very
that
special
song
song
hit
to me.
that is a very very well written song, and
Thank
a
you.
lot of people can relate to that song, I'm sure.
hmm Yeah, I mean, used to is definitely, I mean, you already know just listening to it, it's a very personal, raw, emotional song. Um, and I was nervous putting that one out for different reasons, but yeah, and I mean, that one was another one where we did the video really simple, but um, I am putting a project together that's going to come out sometime later this year. Um, I can't tell you when because time goes by quickly and
Right.
plans have
Yes,
already
ma'am.
changed. Yeah, so but a big plan I'm just going to tell you because why not? Is we definitely want to give Used to another life when that kind of comes because that will be on the project and
Definitely.
I hope to shoot something really cool for it this time around.
Wow. That's awesome. So breaking news right here, guys. You heard it. Kelsey, you're hearing it right here. I know you're out there listening because she said you are looking beautiful tonight. So
Oh, thank you.
we appreciate you, Kelsey. We appreciate you coming on here and making a video. What kind? I mean, because like we were talking with Molly last night. Uh, Back in the day when MTV actually played, music videos, they actually showed music on MTV. Imagine that. Uh, Videos came out I mean, they were just putting them out like that. But talking to a lot of people, it's a expensive process,
Yeah.
and it's you don't this day and time when you don't have back then they had record companies behind them putting a budget for it, and now you're kind of doing this on your own, so it's not very feasible to put out a video for every song that you release, right?
Yeah, definitely. But, like I said, my team and I have kind of figured out a way to do it as DIY, and I feel
Oh
like
yeah.
less is more, and I think it's been working. So I also am not a good actress, so I don't like anything that where I have to do anything crazy. So
Well, I will say this. I think, and I've said it for years with NTV, and I know this is a day of YouTube and all that. Everybody can put their video on YouTube, but it to me, a video enhances the song and makes you, because back in the day when you would see a video come out for a song, you'd be like, okay, that after you had heard it on the radio, it would be that much better because you're putting a face to it and it's telling a
mhm.
story in there. But yeah, I mean, if you can figure out a way and it's feasible for you to make a video, you need to make a video for for a lot of these songs. But yeah,
I
I'm
totally
really
will.
looking forward to seeing what you're going to do with used to, because that should be epic there.
Thank
And
you.
Kelsey is asking, Andrea. Oh, no, I can't say your name.
It's
Right.
all good.
Andrea is not a good actress? Question mark. She's saying you're saying you're not a good actress.
Not the best. I have a tough time keeping a straight face. I laugh at everything.
Well, that's okay. So let's talk a little bit about Overthink. Um, it's something everybody does, and the lyrics. I mean, looking at the lyrics, everybody can relate to that song because you,
Mhm.
just like you said, I overthink about things bigger than me, and I am like the worst at doing that. Everything that comes up, I overthink it into, I've had nights where I haven't slept because I'm overthinking about things. But one of the lines that we talked about before we went on the air that you said, talking about would I fit in, my last name's different, and you want the world to hear your songs. Is this kind of an autobiographical song for you?
Definitely, because I feel like being a woman in country music, our route is definitely a little. We have a couple more hurdles sometimes, and then
Right.
add in the last name factor. Being a Latin American Mexican artist, it definitely is different. So, and I feel like throughout the years too, it's always been, oh, you should throw Spanish in your songs. And I'm like, no, no, no. I just want to sing country. So
Yeah.
kind of just always been able to overthink if I'll be able to call those shots. And I feel like the older, more mature I've gotten, I'm just kind of like, I don't care. I'm just doing it.
Well, you do a great job. And this song, guys, if you haven't checked it out yet, I'm looking at her Spotify right now. I followed it this week. Uh, Overthink is up there. I mean, she's got incredible, incredible songs up here that you really need. Bed You Made. I forgot about that one. Bed You Made.
Thank
Oh
you.
my gosh. If you could do a video for that, now now that would really test your acting skills right there. If you were in
We
that.
did actually do a really cool video with that one.
Did you? Okay, I'm
That
gonna have to check
was
that
actually
out.
my first CMT debut.
Okay, I'm gonna have to check that out because I did not see that on YouTube. Okay.
Yes.
Um. So Overthink is out. What else have we got? You're talking about this big project you got coming, which used to is going to get. Is there any more music that we could be seeing coming out? Anything going to be released in it by this summer?
Yeah, we're definitely in the studio right now. We're getting more music out, and all of that's going to be on that project too. And then right now I'm touring, so more tour dates that will come out later on this year. So I'm just excited. I'm excited, especially just to get on the road again
Yeah, because
or to keep getting on the road.
you got 2 dates coming up in Kentucky in April,
Mm-hmm.
and hopefully there'll be more coming. How hard was it? And I asked this, and I hate to ask this because it's what everybody went through during that time. How hard was it dealing with COVID? How much did that set you back?
Um, I mean, it wasn't fun. Um, I mean, it wasn't that great, but there were still a lot of cool things that I could do around Nashville. I feel like it was kind of a time to write,
Right.
record, and kind of do focus on the content stuff that we could put out when everything opened back up. So that was nice. And then, Nicole's kept me busy.
Yes, and Miss Cole is pretty great. I had a little
She
talk with
is
her today. She is a great lady. Um, Before we let you go, like I said, we're gonna do some quick hitting questions,
perfect.
and this one is kind of tough, except for one. Noelle hit this one right out of the park. As first, I mean, I was surprised how quick she did it. Favorite song of all time?
Oh my gosh, I
See,
that's you.
that's the
That one's
right.
unfair.
It's like I said to Molly, that is the right reaction to it because it's like I would be like so many songs going through my head right now. But Noel come up and said "Forever and Ever Amen" by Randy Travis, just like that. I was like, how do you, in the world? But evidently, it had a impact on her.
I'll probably say like "Any Man of Mine," Shania Twain.
Okay, okay. Favorite movie?
Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Oh, okay, that's okay. Okay, favorite food?
Mm, I wish I could eat like pizza every day.
Oh wow, I'm getting ready to have that in just a minute. Um,
Oh,
I had to rub that in, didn't I?
yeah.
If you could collaborate with anyone, any artist, you know, that is living or passed away, who would it be?
I would collaborate right now, probably with Marin Morris.
Okay.
She's
Okay.
brilliant. And throw some John Mayer in there because they're friends.
John Mayer. Okay. I didn't see that coming. All right. So this is what I call a guilty pleasure here. Something you listen to that people wouldn't think that you listen to.
I listen to a lot of hip hop. Especially, I love to work out and I love cardio and
Uh huh.
it just makes it more fun.
Hip hop. Okay. So a lot of people, the first time I asked that, somebody turned the tables on me and said, "Well, what was something that somebody would?" Because I like rock music, I like country. I said I was a big Debbie Gibson fan. I mean, I had a big crush on her, and I've still got Debbie Gibson CDs over here. So, guys, if you want to find Miss Andrea, you can check out her website, AndreaVasquezOfficial.com. You can find her on all the social medias. What else have you got going on? What else do you want to plug here? I know you got some tour dates. Uh, what else do you want to plug here?
I've got a lot of cool merch right now. I've got
See
these like
that.
merch on the website, on the Instagram, and all the things. I'm on TikTok, all the things. So, but I feel like Instagram's the best way to keep in touch with me because everything's kind of linked there anyway. So it's at Drea Vasquez. So you can
Country
keep up
with
with
a
me.
country with a little Tajin tea.
Tahine. Yep.
Tahine,
It's chili
excuse me,
lime seasoning.
Tahine, and you got the stickers too. Any,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm checking you out right now on your merch because a lot of these. And Kelsey said, "I will buy her merchandise." Um,
Yes.
so check her out on Spotify. Check her out on Apple Music, wherever you listen to music. You can find her
Mm-hmm.
YouTube channel. Subscribe to her YouTube channel, uh, and check her out on her official website. Like I said, AndreaVasquezOfficial.com. And best of luck to you. I hope everything goes well. And I will definitely be keeping an eye out on you because I want to see what you do with used to. I definitely want to check that
Thanks.
out. So keep me posted on that. I'm sure Nicole will keep me posted, and we will definitely be pushing whatever you put out.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me on.
And I'm sorry if I butchered your name. I'm sorry. I'm trying
No,
to.
you're good.
I'm okay, guys. Thank you so much, Miss Vasquez, and guys, that is Andrea Vasquez on the fly.